What's up, guys? Today we're going to be revisiting the Google Pixel 6 Pro in 2024 here. This phone has come down in price. It hasn't really moved since the last time I looked at it. It's been around like $233. Hasn't really dropped too much since the last time. But this is a really fantastic phone in that $200 price range that you can consider. So this phone, it did get the Android 14 update, and I remember this phone when it first launched with a whole bunch of bugs, and it was super buggy. But even with the Android 14 update, this phone has become, I think, a lot smoother, and also performance is definitely a little bit better on here now, and it's nowhere near as buggy as when it first came out. So that's also one really nice thing about phones and getting software updates and making the experience much better over time. So one of my favorite things about the Pixel 6 Pro is the display. So I think the design overall in general with the Pixel 6 Pro is really well, considering that if you look at Google's past flagships before this, they weren't as well designed as this phone. I think this one, Google has kept with this design. And I think the screen on here is just really nice. LTPO AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 Plus at 6.7 inches. It's a full 1440p display at 512 for the PPI. And it is a really nice panel. It is a curved panel as well, which is something that I don't really mind. I actually like the curved look. But yeah, the display on here, it's really nice and vibrant. And yeah, it's just an overall an excellent display here. I have really no issues at all. It does get, fairly bright outdoors. It's not anything super crazy like the newer phones, but you can definitely see it in direct sunlight. And this phone is actually easy to hold as well too. It's not as sharp as something like the Galaxy S24 or something like that. So yeah, I absolutely really like the screen on here. I think it's aged really well, especially for this $200 price point. It just looks really good. So if we go ahead and roll into the hardware here, Google has pretty much kept its design for the most part. It doesn't really look that much different from the Pixel 8 Pro, and even the Pixel 9 Pro is still going to have a similar camera bar design here. So this is a design that I really like. I think Google has kind of made the design a little bit unique here. Like I said, it's pretty comfortable to hold, and it's a glass and metal phone. It has that glossy back, so it is going to pick up fingerprints, which Google has moved to like a matte finish. But I do like this glossy looks. It has a very classy look to it, very shiny look to it. Yeah, the hardware on here is really nice. I think it's aged pretty well for the most part. I like the buttons. They're very clicky, very firm. So the hardware has definitely kept up since I first got this phone for sure. When it comes to gaming on the Pixel 6 Pro, it's still a pretty good experience for the most part. I'm still getting pretty good graphics settings on here. I can play on Ultra on the Call of Duty Mobile, and I don't know, it's not bad. This phone, it does get a little bit warmer than I would like, which is something that I've noticed definitely from using the Pixel 8 Pro. These original Tensor chips do get warm. I've never had this phone really crash on me or anything, but I'm not like a super hardcore gamer. But the specs on here, we do have, again, Android 14, Google Tensor chip, 128 gigs of internal storage, and 12 gigs of RAM on the base model. So the phone is pretty fast. Playing the games that I play, Call of Duty, PUBG, pretty much whatever I throw at it, it still does a pretty decent job. Like I said, it's not going to go crazy in benchmarks or anything like that. But as far as gaming, I think for the casual gamer, this is definitely great. Now, if you're looking for an old flagship to do like gaming on, I would probably go with a Snapdragon processor. You'll be able to get PUBG at 90 frames. This one, it doesn't do it for PUBG at 90 frames. I just think over in general, you get better performance with a Snapdragon. But if you're a casual gamer, you don't play games a lot, this is easily still a great processor for gaming. Let's test out these speakers at max volume. So the speakers on the 6 Pro are really good, guys. These are excellent sounding speakers, really good bass quality. The top speaker does a fantastic job. These are impressive speakers. I think Google makes really good speakers in their flagships in general. So the fingerprint scanner, it is an optical fingerprint scanner. Now, it's not the fastest that I've ever used. Of course, you just have to apply a little bit of pressure. My only issue with this phone is that the Pixel 6 Pro didn't have any type of face unlock, unfortunately. So even if you hate like the fingerprint scanner, you can't use face unlock, which is kind of a bummer. But it's not too bad. But you know, that does kind of suck. Now, the star of the show with this phone is still the cameras. The image quality on this phone is absolutely insane. It's still extremely good. I would say it's just as good as the latest flagships out right now as far as still photography. I'm not exaggerating. It's really, really good, guys. It's got a 15 megapixel standard, a 48 megapixel telephoto, 4x optical, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 4K 60 and then has a 11.1 ultra wide selfie cam that shoots in 4K 30. Image quality is still top notch, especially for this price point. Like I tell anybody, if you're serious about like taking pictures on a budget, this is the best way to go. It just takes some really great shots, really good dynamic range, great color. Google's image processing is excellent. Still really good low light photography as well too. There's nothing that I don't like about the cameras on here. It just takes some great shots, really good color. It does great with skin tones as well too. And Google's editor is also pretty good as well too, something that I really like. It's just a fantastic camera. I use Google cameras for my YouTube shorts as well too, so I think the video is solid, but I still think Apple, Samsung does video when it comes to the entire system a little bit better. But I like the color on the Pixel video, so that's why I use it. But I mean, the shots on here are just beautiful, guys. So if you need a really good camera on a budget, you can honestly pick any of the Pixel phones. Pixel 6a, Pixel 7, around $200. Or you want something bigger, 6 Pro, easily will give you fantastic image quality. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about battery life. So this is not a super strong spot for this phone. Even when it was brand new, the battery life has always been just kind of average on this phone. It was never above average, and I think the standby time also isn't that impressive on this phone. Now, Google has improved on battery life with the newer phones, but yeah, the battery life is just okay on this device. You do have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery on here. It's got 23 watt charging on here, and then you also have 23 watt wireless charging, and it also does have reverse wireless charging as well. Screen on time, even like brand new, it was still kind of like around 6 hours of screen on time. So yeah, that's why I said average. If you game on here, you definitely would be charging this device for the most part. So battery life is just not, it's not excellent. It's just kind of like okay. But yeah, I really like the Pixel 6 Pro for anybody who's looking for a camera. You want some really good clean software, the Google experience. I think this phone is crazy fast. When the phone first came out, it had like a lot of like glitches and lag and stuff like that, but like right here it would lag a lot on the Google Now page, just scrolling and stuff like that. So you see how smooth it is now, and all the little bugs and stuff, little crashes, I just don't really have those anymore. So you can see just how smooth this phone is. So yeah, so I absolutely really like the Pixel 6 Pro. Crazy cheap, very low investment, and I think a really good quality all around. So what do you guys think? Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.